Since invading Ukraine, Russia has become the world's most sanctioned country, and the European Union is among its top sanctioners. Nevertheless, the Kremlin still raked in €1 billion for its war efforts on European soil this year. That's according to a recent investigation by several non-profit groups, including Global Witness. It concludes that Russia is making use of loopholes in the EU's sanction rules, in one member state in particular. Brussels had permitted Bulgaria to continue importing Russian oil to support its energy security. But recent evidence suggests Bulgaria allowed millions of oil barrels to reach a Russian-owned refinery and then be sold abroad, including to other EU countries. Our reporter Rosie Birchard sat down with Prime Minister of Bulgaria, Nikolai Denkov, and asked him when this loophole would be closed.
We have a decision, so instead of continuing until the end of the next year, which was the initial derogation period, we'll stop it by the end of March, even starting before that, stage by stage. So we want to reduce as much as possible this period, but this shouldn't happen with the risk for exploding the prices of fuel in Bulgaria and so on and so forth. Now about the suggestions that something was illegal, something was improper. Let me be very clear. Everything that has been done by the refinery, by the government, completely corresponds to the European regulations and to the national law.
So, Prime Minister, you're committing to accelerating the timeline to ending this exemption. Now, I think critics would say, well, you're just reacting to these recent reports which have shown really the scale of just how much money Russia is getting through this.
No, I'll not agree with this. So what happened is that when we entered the office, we checked we have any readiness if something happens to take over the refinery. Can we take a control? Can we be sure that the refinery will not be used as an economic weapon against the Bulgarian economy? So we needed these last few months to prepare teams of people that are able, if needed, to take control over the refinery. So now we are almost prepared to do it. Just a few months ago, it was absolutely impossible to think about this. So no, it is not a reaction of the report. We needed this time to be sure that we are ready to act if necessary.
And are you really ready? Because I'm sure there are plenty of Bulgarians that are concerned about what the impact might be on the economy. How are you going to cushion the blow?
Yeah, this was the real question. Do we work together with Lukoil in the transition from Russian to non-Russian oil, which is supposed to be a smooth transition, or there is a need to jump into the control of the refinery and take control by the government? I think the first is less risky, and if we agree on the timeline, this is my preferred option. But if Lukoil, if the refinery decide to act in a weird way, then we should be ready to take control.
There's a lot of discussion now within the European Union about whether support is waning. Can Kiev really count on the European Union moving forward? Do you think you can give that promise and commitment to Kiev?
Ukraine is really fighting for Europe. I mean, if we allow Ukraine to fail, then this creates a real threat for the countries that are on the eastern part of Europe. If we save money today, it could become much more expensive later. So we'll do whatever we can to help Ukraine to fight their battle.
Nikolai Denkov, Prime Minister of Bulgaria, thank you so much for speaking to DW.
My pleasure.